Today we are customizing Pink Power Jumpsuit Barbie, and I am super excited because this is my first Margot Robbie Barbie ever. I haven't been able to find a lot of the other dolls, unfortunately. I have managed to find Inline Skate Barbie and Perfect Day Barbie, and I love them so much. I cannot wait to customize them, and I will be customizing them in later videos, so stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and get her out of the box because I literally cannot wait any longer, and I love that the collector boxes are so much easier to remove the dolls than like play dolls. So just a quick review before customizing her. Here's a close-up of her face, and even with her factory screening, she looks closer to Margot Robbie than I expected. It just really goes to show how well they did with the sculpting. Her hair is pulled up into a messy ponytail like in the movie, and it is glued. Like every single hair is glued, none of it is soft. But not to worry, because we're going to soften it up in a few minutes. Now let's talk about the jumpsuit. Honestly, I like it and I think it's really pretty. I honestly don't like to wear jumpsuits, but I think they look really cute on the Margot Robbie Barbie. The jumpsuit has a really high quality fabric for a doll, and it feels very soft and silky and ties with a cute bow. She has a colorful handkerchief tied in her hair, and it looks very close to the actual one in the movie. She also has these white platform sneaker heels, and I think in the movie they have some like iridescent details or something like that. I definitely think these could be enhanced with some paint. And she of course comes with a pair of vintage looking sunglasses, and they are a magenta color. And finally, one last overview of the doll. I know this doll wasn't as anticipated as some of the other Margot Robbie Barbies, but I personally think she's really cute, and I was really excited when this doll was released. I think the pink jumpsuit scene in the movie is really fun, and the look translates really well to the doll. And this is of course not specific to the Pink Power Jumpsuit Barbie, but I do love that the box doubles as a doll display. It's so cute! Now we're finally ready to customize Pink Power Jumpsuit Barbie, starting with a hair wash. She has a lot of thread in her hair keeping her ponytail in place, so just be careful while removing it, and use something like more finite like a seam ripper or a pair of eyebrow trimmers. Next, we're going to do a boil wash with a little bit of fabric softener to soften up her hair. Dip her ponytail into the water and it pretty much softens up right away. Now we can take it down for a proper hair wash. I decided I didn't want to just pull her hair back up into a messy ponytail after washing it. Although I like the pink jumpsuit look from the movie, it just wasn't the most creative thing to do, especially as my first Margot Robbie Barbie custom. I realized I haven't seen anyone recreate this cute little Chanel look yet. This outfit is still from a scene where Barbie feels re-empowered, so I like it. I of course went out and got the materials to make it, but more on restyling later. After boil washing her hair and combing it down, her hair was silky and workable. I also conditioned her hair before tying it back in preparation for the face repaint. I of course had my Margot references ready. One thing I like to do on my first layer of sealant is define the inner ear and crease of the ear using watercolored pencil and pastels. It may sound weird, but I feel like it adds a little extra layer of definition. You don't have to go crazy with it. I recommend just doing it very lightly. I always do my blush on the first layer as well. It helps to start with broad strokes and gradually get more detailed as you go along. I'm applying a little bit of blush on the ears as well. I want to go for a sort of soft, sun-kissed look, so applying blush to the ears and apples of the cheeks will help achieve that. My darker brown pencils are getting really short, but I'm gonna work with what I got. Just like with the ears, darkening the nostrils is another subtle way to achieve definition. Because white watercolor pencil rarely builds color on plastic, I am painting her teeth with white acrylic. It looks a little weird right now, but we'll come back and add some more detail. Some people like to do a lot of contouring on their dolls, especially if they're repainting a doll in someone's likeness. However, personally, I don't like to do a lot of contouring. I feel like with Barbie dolls, the proportions are too small and certain details can look weird if you overdo it. I'm not criticizing anyone who likes to do a lot of contouring, it's just a matter of personal taste. Since Margot herself says she didn't wear a lot of bronzer in the movie to look more doll-like, I'm only applying light bronzer to accentuate her natural face shape. Also on the first layer, I always begin sketching out the eye shape. It's best to start with a lighter color and line with a darker color later. Now for the irises. If you look closely, Margot has these grayish blue eyes that have more aqua tone compared to the bright cerulean eyes from the factory screening. So I'm sketching them in with a grayish blue pencil and then lightly sketching in the brows. I went ahead and painted in the scaleras. If you overdo it with the paint, then just lightly scrape it off with a palette knife. I fill in her lips with a lighter pink as a base. We'll add some of the warmer berry-colored hues later. She looks weird now, but she'll look a lot better once we build in some color and detail. After spraying her with another layer of sealant, I use a dark brown to give her smile more definition and outline her teeth. I line her lips with a warm berry color that matches her lipstick from the movie. I also sketch in her pupils. I go over her brows with a darker brown and build up more shape, and do the same with her eyes and eyelids. I use a light pink for a little bit of eyeshadow. Finally, I begin detailing her lashes. I add catch lights before lengthening her lashes a bit more. And ta-da! Her face up is done. I carefully boil wash her hair so it's straight again, and now that it's wet, we can begin styling. I really want to emulate the soft, layered waves from the movie. I'm purposely using a bigger roller on the front of her hair on this side, and for the rest of her hair, I'll be using straws. I'm adding a bit more wave to the front of the hair on this side. Now I just wrap up the rest of the hair. I curl inward and I gradually wrap less of the hair as I go towards the back. Now I dip her hair into boiling water and then cold water to help the wave set. I'm only doing this for a few seconds because I'm really paranoid of washing off the face up. After letting her dry overnight, I take the straws out. It's a little bouncier than I want it to be right now, but gravity will weigh it down to where I want it to be. Honestly, this doll was made for this hairstyle. Real quick, I just want to compare my repainted doll to the dolls I have yet to customize. Side by side, it's such a drastic change. Now it's time for the restyle. Let's start with the dress. I took an existing doll pattern I had and modified it to fit the shapes I would need to create the Chanel dress. I traced the patterns onto a blank piece of pattern paper and modified the neck and hem lines. For the back of the dress, I started by drawing the shape as a whole. The dress has little vents in the back that I wanted to include in the doll-size version. I then split the center back and side back into two new pattern pieces. I'm not going to explain sewing the dress in a lot of detail because if you know how to sew, you'll be able to spot a lot of the mistakes that I made. I also just eyeballed a lot. In the future, I want to use a bigger seam allowance so that I can use picking shears to cut out pattern pieces since I don't have a serger. That's what I should have done with this dress since the fabric frays so easily, but you live and you learn. Sewing the raw edges along the neckline and hemline was especially hard. The dress is still a little raw looking in the end, but I think it works since the dress has a fuzzy texture in real life. Now let's make the necklace. I've been so excited for this part. I'm using this beautiful chain to look like a necklace that has charms. The chain doesn't need to be that long since it will be weighed down by the heart-shaped pendant. I cut the little bit that I need, and in fact, I ended up needing to cut off a little bit later. I also decided to make earrings by clipping off the little toggles with white beads. I stuck some pins in her ears and left them in there for a little bit while I finished making the necklace. Also, say hi to my kitty! Unfortunately, the toggles were too large to fit into the ear piercing holes that I created, so I just cut them in half to create a pair of gold studs without the beads. Let's go ahead and paint her nails. While her nails dry, I pick out some shoes. For her last accessory, I need to make her purse. I'm crocheting it because that's what's easiest for me. Ideally, it would be a purse that has like a boxier shape that looks closer to the movie, but I unfortunately don't have anything to make it that way. I really need to start investing in some more like miniature materials. If you know how to crochet, I'll put a link for the heart pattern in the description, but essentially I made 2 hearts for the body of the purse and then sewed them together along the sides, leaving an opening at the top. I made a small chain and sewed it in between the 2 hearts to make a handle. And you have a functioning purse for Barbie! Lastly, I made the straps of the dress by cutting 4 fabric strips, sewing the sides of each strip together and sewing them to the dress. The strips had to be long enough to be tied into a bow, so each was about 6 inches long. Let's add the finishing touches. And finally, she's done. I really love the way this doll turned out. She matches my vision, and I think the dress and accessories match their real-life proportions in the movie. Here's another quick comparison between the customized doll and the factory screening. If you're subscribed to this channel, I just want to take a moment and say thank you. Your support really means so much. I have some full transformation customs, not just restyles, planned next month for spooky season, so stay tuned for those. Also, check out my Instagram and TikTok accounts. I'll put the link for them in the description. They're both dolls by ACAT. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Anna, Dracula's favorite ghoul. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.